After a storm passes, a flat roof often looks perfectly calm. A shallow puddle reflecting the sky appears completely harmless. But on a low-slope system, quiet water is usually the first sign of trouble. Despite the name, a flat roof is engineered with precise slopes to move water toward drains and gutters. When water remains on the surface, the roof has stopped shedding moisture and started holding it. The industry standard is the 48-hour rule. If water remains after 2 days, drainage has failed. This matters because 1 inch of standing water adds 5.2 pounds per square foot. Across a 10 by 10 area, that's 500 pounds of weight sitting on the roof's frame. This pressure is the start of a silent transition. By the time a property owner sees a stain on the ceiling inside, the water has already found a path through the assembly the surface was meant to protect. Even after the water evaporates, it leaves behind a physical map of the problem. Dark dirt rings, mineral deposits, and algae growth show exactly where the water repeatedly sits. These rings create a sandpaper effect. As the wind moves the water, or the roof expands in the sun, dirt particles abrade the surface, gradually thinning the protective membrane and coatings. In the intense heat of Santa Clarita, these weakened areas are forced through rapid cycles of expansion and contraction, making cracks and pinholes more likely. These surface marks aren't just cosmetic blemishes. They are evidence of chronic stress that eventually fractures the very system meant to keep the interior dry. The most vulnerable points in this system are the seams, the connective tissue where individual sheets of membrane overlap. Standing water keeps joints wet for days, exposing adhesives to hydrostatic pressure. Capillary action pulls moisture uphill into microscopic gaps in the sealant. Once water bypasses the seal, it travels laterally underneath the membrane, moving far from the entry point. This is how a small, aging seam turns into a massive breach. The standing water ensures that even a microscopic opening becomes a persistent pathway into the building. When moisture reaches the insulation below, the roof's texture changes. Walking near a ponding zone might reveal soft or spongy spots where the internal layers have become saturated. This trapped moisture often forms wet blisters, pockets of vapor and water festering directly between the membrane and the roof deck. During a hot afternoon, the trapped vapor heats up and expands. This internal pressure stretches the membrane until it eventually cracks or bursts. Clogged drains, buried under leaves and debris, accelerate this decay by turning these vulnerable sections into permanent basins. Even when the weather outside is dry, a saturated roof assembly continues to deteriorate, rotting the structure from the inside out. Simply patching the surface without addressing the drainage is a temporary fix. If water continues to collect over the repair, the same forces will attack the new material immediately. While an isolated puncture might only need a patch, widespread seam failure or saturated insulation often requires full restoration to rebuild the waterproof envelope. Spotting the problem early means checking for dirt rings, feeling for spongy areas underfoot, and looking for lifting seams. If water remains on your roof for more than 48 hours, a professional inspection can determine if the moisture has already moved below the surface. Don't wait for a ceiling stain to confirm the damage. Contact Roof Repair Santa Clarita today to evaluate your drainage and stop a shallow puddle from becoming a structural failure.